9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1.
So I found this very interesting. A buddy of mine posted this on Facebook last week, and we were having some fun with it. This was a paper out of. We never did get it clear if it was college level or if it was high school, but a professor or teacher had put out a this thesis where they were gonna. It's a hypothetical situation, and you were graded on it. And the idea behind the assignment was there was a spacecraft that was leaving a doomed Earth, right? The Earth was in peril. The spacecraft was leaving, and you had 8 seats left. And I'm assuming this catastrophic event had wiped a bunch of people out. But you had 8 seats left on this spacecraft,
right? And
there were 12 people left total. So you were going to leave 4 at the end of this. And it's this whole conundrum of, who do you leave? And it's funny. The comical part is how they listed the people and their skill sets.
So is this the Al Gore rocket ship?
Yes, it's a coexist ship is what we were calling it.
So Earth in a Lurch is getting ready to launch.
It had a coexist sticker on the back of it.
So I was going to say, is that a real thing? But I could actually, even if it's not, it is now.
It is now.
That's funny.
So they started at the top of the list here. You have an accountant, but he has a substance abuse problem.
It's not really a he, though. We don't know yet, right?
You don't. There was no gender assignment to that. There's a reason why I say he, but for potential effect, we'll get to that. The second person in the list was a militant African-American medical student. Third, you've got a 33-year-old Native American who doesn't speak English. So
what?
Yeah. That was a real twist on it.
So is that Apache, Navajo?
Yeah, something. Yeah. They were raised on the reservation. And,
he speaks in smoke signals.
Wind talkers.
Again, though, we have no male-female reference there, so they didn't leave us. The reason we said the accountant must be male because they listed the accountant's pregnant wife. So we just assumed.
We assumed that, but nowadays you can have,
that's true.
You can have. Yeah.
And this is the multicultural coexist ship, so no telling what's going on here, right?
The good ship Lollipop.
The next, we have a famous novelist who has a physical disability. Oh, the heartstrings, you can just feel them dug in here, right? Don't know what kind of... this guy could write fiction, who knows? We just know he's a novelist.
Or she,
yeah. No gender assignment there. You have a 21-year-old female Muslim international student. So another one that's going to make you go, do I want to be blown up in my sleep?
Depends on if that's Mia Khalifa or not, Yeah,
there you go.
If it's Mia Khalifa, this might change the whole game.
Next, you have a Hispanic clergyman who's against homosexuality. Again, no gender assignment there. This could be a female preacher. Not that there's many
clergymen.
Yeah. Well, that's generic. So. Then we have a female movie star who was recently the victim of a sexual assault. Yet another heartstring tugger right there.
Harvey Weinstein's cast-offs.
Exactly. Harvey's done. You want her?
Yeah.
Thought that was pretty funny. Oh, and this was a good one. You have a racist police officer who's been accused of using excessive force, and he's armed. They made sure to point that out. Who's shocked by an armed cop?
But it could be a female, too, though. They didn't identify it. Yeah.
It could.
Again, there's a bunch of mad women cops out there, too, man. Been meter maid for 6 years, and I get promoted to this shit?
She's pissed off and beating people.
Suddenly, that just sounds funny to me.
Yeah. There you go.
The whole thing, really, when you stare at the list, the whole thing is very comical.
Well, I got to be honest with you. It kind of looks like Sam's Tinder profile.
That's what I was thinking. Which one of these gals did you swipe left on, Grant? And which one did you swipe right on?
Well, why do you think the L's and the R's are right beside them?
There you go.
Oh, that's funny. Then we had a homosexual male pro athlete. That could be any football player.
That's a football player for sure. Yeah.
Then you have the Asian orphan 12-year-old boy. So there again, another tearjerker. And lastly, we have a 60-year-old Jewish University Administrator. So there's your choices. You have 12 of them. You can only pick 8.
This is a spider's web maze for anybody that takes this on.
Oh yeah, it was it was meant to be a total landmine for this class to walk into. And I'm surprised they didn't have. I would be willing to bet they had diversity training and all that stuff afterwards. I'm sure counselors were called in.
Oh, this is a good way to play
Feelings
on
were hurt.
Your bias and prejudice. That's all this is.
That's it.
I think we're missing like a clock-making Muslim boy.
Because I'm thinking,
well, you could have made him a 12-year-old Asian.
Just doing this would satisfy the requirement of bringing in some sort of a diversity training session after doing something like this.
Personally, I think that's what it was designed to do.
It's a way to expose predisposed bias.
Yeah.
And I can't even speak today. Sorry about that.
That's all right. He's been drinking, so we're going to let him slide a little bit.
There you go.
No, but you're talking about the clock boy.
Yeah.
You could have. Now this would have been, and this would have actually made more sense. Instead of an Asian orphan 12-year-old boy, it could have been a Muslim orphan 12-year-old boy, where his dad blew himself up over in Israel. Or something.
So the problem with the Muslim clock-making kid is he's only going to be able to show you how to do this shit one time, and that's it.
A Muslim science fair student who just received a failing grade.
Oh, there we go. Yeah.
So one of the first things that struck me about this list when we first started talking about it is it listed none of their skill sets for getting on this ship. That's the first thing that hit me. Because if I'm flying a ship out in space where I'm going to encounter aliens and I'm going to have to colonize a planet.
Well, first I'm going to tell you is that rocket ship is magic. Because it doesn't need any of those things.
That was the other thing. So then I came up with that conundrum next. I'm like, I doubt this thing makes the Kessel run in 12 parsecs like the Millennium Falcon. So my guess is we'll all freeze to death by the time we get to the Kuiper Belt.
So this is where the Wookiee gets pissed off and kicks everybody off. Everybody's getting kicked off the damn ship.
So there were some really clever answers amongst the group that I discussed this with. I'll jump in first and give you my answer.
Yeah.
So I already kind of gave my approach to it in explaining how I looked at this thing. So I looked at it and said, I wouldn't take any of these assholes. The only people I would take out of this is one, the pregnant wife. We're going to assume that my family's dead, right? I don't have a wife or anything.
Well, she's not on the list.
Yeah, she's not on the list. My wife obviously didn't make it. So so I'm going to take the accountant's pregnant wife because, one, she's obviously a breeder.
Yeah.
She doesn't say no.
Yeah.
She's receptive to the touch.
Exactly. She doesn't say no.
But it could be an alien baby for all we know. Going with this scenario,
true.
You never know.
That's true. Because we did establish that the accountant who she's allegedly married to is not necessarily male.
Right.
So but then again, if it is, I mean, is she carrying around a crack baby? You don't know.
You never know.
What's she addicted to?
Well, now the one thing that is going in your favor is whatever's going on, you have no witnesses.
That's true. That's
very true.
So I picked two. I picked her, and I picked the Asian orphan 12-year-old boy because I'm going to need somebody that's good at math and can read star charts and navigate us to where we need to go. Now another person added to this. They're like, I like your pick, but it was a female. She's like, you need to take the 60-year-old Jewish University Administrator. I'm like, why? She's like, dude, them people wandered the desert for like 40 years. They're going to be used to going all over the place and not having a place to land.
This is true, but I'm sure rockets scare the shit out of those people.
You would think so.
Yeah.
But yeah, I looked at this list and I'm like, I get no credentials. Who here is a fucking electrician? I need to know somebody who can work. I need to know somebody that's good with weapons in case we get invaded by aliens.
See, I'm almost assuming that there's a crew.
Yeah,
you'd almost have to, wouldn't you?
Yeah, well, okay.
Because these people, this thing ain't getting off the ground.
Right.
Yeah, these are just passengers.
Right.
Yeah.
I'm assuming this is my rocket ship. I'm the commander here, right? So what I say goes.
There you go.
So I look at this group and I'm thinking, none of these people are going to be able to follow orders. First off, none of these. These are all fuck ups. Every one of them. You look at these people.
Well, the disability guy or person, you just park them wherever you want them.
You just haven't hit them hard.
Yeah.
They hadn't had the proper motivation.
There you go.
But they lead. If this was their resume, they led with the worst things about them.
Right.
So I get to this list and I'm like, screw you. You're right, Graham. The disability guy's, that's not his fault. And I mean, he could be entertaining when he gets drunk because somebody's going to have to tell stories while we're on this thing. So, potentially.
Well, he could have been a former Navy SEAL trainer for all we know.
But that's not what he listed. That's not what he listed in his resume.
Now, you do have an armed police officer there.
Yeah, but okay. So I look at these people, and if I'm in command, I'm shouting orders, and I need my orders followed.
Yeah.
Right? I want my orders followed, or people die.
You remember Shane from Walking Dead?
Yeah.
The last thing you need is that kind of dude.
My whole
on
point.
that
Ascension.
Everybody I looked at in here would potentially either kill me in my sleep or mutiny.
Yeah, absolutely.
That's kind of how I looked at this. They're all a bunch of placated, whiny bitches, and I don't want them on my ship. So, good luck with Godzilla or whatever's eating the planet at this point.
Well, it's funny because I'm rolling through this thing, and I'm really honestly. So I wouldn't mind the militant African American medical student.
He could be used
because actually, that person could be pretty usul.
But he's militant, though.
Well, it doesn't matter.
Okay.
It does to me. It doesn't matter because you know what? There's a vapor lock between you and the outside.
Okay. You can always make it into the airlock.
You can always go to the airlock and you're out.
We always saw aliens and what happened to the big alien queen.
Yeah, so. I'd say, hey, look, there's a Quran in there. Go get it. Out the window, you're gone.
Well, I mean, he's not necessarily Muslim. He's just militant. So
no, I know.
He could be BLM for all we know.
That's true. That's true.
Mouthy. He's mouthy.
Exactly.
Look, Michael Brown.
Yeah.
No,
terrible.
So I was looking at that, and let's see. For me,
would you actually do 8? Could you do 8?
No. This would be a tough list right here. I mean, for me, it would just it just wouldn't sound good with what I would really say.
Well, I'm like screw these people. That's supplies I could be putting on.
Well, there you go. There is a lot of dead weight, and there's a lot of hot air.
Go ahead, kid. I'll let you have your run at it.
I'm just trying to think. So I think let's see the accountant with the substance abuse problem. Nope, they ain't gonna make the cut. I think the 33-year-old Native American manager who doesn't speak English is fine because I really don't want to hear anything in this. I want it to be a quiet ride. It's
going to be a quiet trip.
Can you imagine? Are we there yet?
Yeah.
Are we there yet? No, we're 15 parsecs away. Leave me alone.
They really didn't give her any, her or him any hang-ups, so that's good. Other than she doesn't speak.
Right.
So they probably know they can't speak English, so they probably won't even attempt to talk.
There you go.
So that all I just heard was silence.
Yeah, follow orders. Go there. So that's a potential.
So I think the 21-year-old female Muslim international student, because that's an oppressed country.
Yeah.
And all you got to do is show her a little kindness, a little freedom.
Uh-huh.
I think she'll flip.
She'll come around, huh?
She'll come around.
Okay.
I think she'll be fine. Okay. I'm not worried about that. Man, I'm trying to think here. So the homosexual male pro athlete probably keeps himself in really good shape. Probably pretty strong.
Good cannon
highly
fodder.
Emotional. You'd be the kind of person you'd probably want to run around to keep the women at bay. Right. They all can sit and visit and they're out of your way. So I'd probably go that one. Let's see. I'd like to have the 60-year-old Jewish university administrator around.
Yeah.
I kind of like the wisdom. There's a lot of scholarly wisdom that I would expect to roll through there.
That makes sense.
So I would kind of like that. Let's see. I'd bring the 12-year-old Asian boy around too.
You're going to need a geneticist. I mean, at some point, you're going to need somebody to do cloning and that kind of thing. So he'll be useful.
And I'd pair him up with the 21-year-old female Muslim. That way he's curious, keeps busy, stays with her, and gets out of my hair. So I'd do that. Let's see. What am I at? Is that number 6?
I think so.
Let's see. I'd bring the Hispanic clergyman who's against homosexuality to
he'll
watch.
Play real well with the
athlete. I want to see how he wins that one.
Well, you got to figure there's no TV, so it'll be interesting watching. This will give you entertainment value while you're on the long journey.
Let's see. I would probably. I don't want the pregnant woman because I don't want to deal with all that postpartum depression shit. Yeah, I don't want that. Plus, I don't know what's in the womb, so I don't want to take a risk of the movie Alien, popping out and killing everybody. So let's see. My last pick will be...
Oh, it's got to be the emotionally wrecked.
It's the female movie star who is a recent victim of sexual assault. That's my list,
That's an interesting list. I would have not... I didn't figure you for that list at all. I follow your logic in it.
Right.
But knowing how you think, I didn't see that as your picks.
Yeah, I mean, the biggest concern I would have is the 4 women in that group and getting together and overthrowing the ship, and
that's what surprised me about it. I thought, man,
yeah, but that's manageable though, because all I got to do is say, "Hey, she said this about you."
That's true,
and then they all fight each other, and I wouldn't have to worry about it.
You take it to the office politics level, and it's over.
Go. So that's what I would do. I mean, for me, because I'm looking for the minimal threat.
Yeah.
You know, I really am. I'm looking for I don't want to deal with...
Well, it goes back to the mutiny thing like I'm talking about, because all these people are so damn opinionated, obviously.
Exactly.
You know, it's going to be...
Sure.
What do you got, Graham? What are you looking at the list? What would you do here?
Actually, the first thing that popped in my head is I'm going to create a fight club.
I'm telling you. It's prime, isn't it?
Yeah, because I was like, I don't give a shit about any of these people.
Yeah.
So I'm just coming up with pairings.
Right.
So
in this corner...
I am.
I can almost pick this list for you then.
Yeah, so I'm actually going with the second one, the militant African American. Is that a medical student?
Medical student, yeah.
Right.
And pitting him against
the racist cop.
Actually, I'm going to go against the 60-year-old Jewish university administrator.
Really?
Yeah. That whole.
I can break a bone and mend it and break it again.
What is it? The organization that. Oh, God dang it!
Yeah,
I'll get to that later.
Anyway, it's a good fight.
that's the first card.
It's like a claymation fight.
I would go with the racist armed police officer accused of excessive force against the female movie star who was a recent victim of sexual assault.
Wow. Dude, he just wants some vicious shit
I'm
going
telling
on.
you, this is...
Yeah, because they're already keyed up anyway.
Those are on edge.
So,
you could have went with the accountant with the substance abuse problem, because the cocaine might give him an edge against the cop.
Right. I'll do the homosexual male pro athlete against the Hispanic clergyman who's against homosexuality.
Yeah, that would be a great card.
That one just writes itself. And then
two more. Who's the last card? Who's the championship bout of the night?
Man,
I know, right?
This is tough. I will.
When you make your pick,
you know what? Okay,
I'll
do the 21-year-old female Muslim international student against the Asian orphan 12-year-old boy.
Okay.
I mean, because they're probably going to be from the continent of Asia anyway.
There you go.
So I'm just kind of keeping it in the family.
Mixed martial arts thing.
There you go.
Right.
Yeah.
So what I think would be interesting is you take the accountant with the substance abuse and the accountant's pregnant wife.
Yeah.
And you tell him that's not his.
It's the racist cop.
Yeah, it's the racist.
Oh,
you take the cop or something like
perfect.
that. Yeah.
Oh, I completely missed the
mix and match that one, because there's nothing
funny.
worse than a woman raging
Either
with
that
hormones.
or the militant African American medical student, because you could say, hey, he did it right.
Right.
And he's going to be a doctor, so.
You really didn't have the habit. We just drugged you.
Well, I'm thinking if you brought the accountant, he can do the drugs, and then the medical student can make the drugs. So that's kind of a self-fulfilling prophecy.
Pretty much, if you're looking for doing crack in space.
Yeah, no, I mean,
really kind of depends on how long this trip is.
Yeah, exactly.
I doubt Graham's mission makes the atmosphere. I mean, that's the space shuttle at about 16,000 feet.
It'd be a bloody mess cleaning that cargo hold out.
Yeah, I'm not sure. Graham, I'm not sure you ever get to plan a mission. That's terrible.
Actually,
the
it'd
thing
be a hell of a pay-per-view show, though. That's where he's going. He's going for the money.
So, because how I look at it is you don't make it to the death until you start getting closer to your destination.
So what is each winner moves on to the next bracket, so to speak?
Yeah,
yes.
You could bracket this thing.
Oh, so who would be the last two standing in your group then? Think about rage and skill and all that other stuff, and tell us who the last two. Who's the final fight card in your group?
I probably would say the female movie star who has a recent victim of sexual assault.
Wow.
And something nondescript.
Because she's used to fighting off some sweaty dude.
Yeah. And
Get off me, Weinstein.
That's the 60-year-old Jewish administrator.
That's where I was going to go.
That's That's what Weinstein's doing now. Actually, yeah, he was a prison librarian. Now he's a university administrator.
That'll be
I think you got that totally pegged wrong. I think what you would have, the homosexual male athlete and the roid raging police officer, because he's got a gun.
And they're both. And what's funny though is if one flipped the other.
That's true.
So you get those two
Greco-Roman,
because
Roman
because racist armed cops are latent homosexuals.
Exactly.
Right? At least that's. So that'd be the fight card right there, man.
Folks, I bet you didn't know we're a science show.
Yeah, this is all scientifically provable, I'm certain.
We're all geneticists here.
Yeah, exactly. So then the question came, after I posed the question of the, we got a spaceship that's probably not making anything like light speed. So we're either going to make Mars, and God knows we ain't going to live long there.
Right.
Dumping everybody off right there. We're leaving with an empty ship. Sorry.
Personally, I'd fly this spaceship into the sun, because that's where it needs to go. I'd cram them all in there, and we'd fly that son of a bitch right to the sun.
Do you ever see those movies where the Greyhound bus stops at that one-horse town, and everybody gets off, and all of a sudden the bus just like freaking takes off? That would be me.
Here's Mercury. Everybody out.
And you forward. Wait, they're all trying to get back to the bus.
So what do you think? Looking at this group, what kind of disaster could the Earth potentially have where these fucktards survive? That's what I'm trying to figure out. These were the survivors. Now, I guess it could be pure luck. We could have some sort of nuclear event and they were in a tunnel or whatever.
Nah, it's got to be Monsanto's fault.
No,
it's always it's some kind of mutation.
Okay.
It's Monsanto's going to be responsible for the destruction of the world anyway, right?
Right.
At least
they all survived because they ate some genetically enhanced carrot.
That's what it is. Either that, or maybe Trump finally turned into the vampire that we all know he is, and he made more vampires, and that's what took over.
Could be. This could be his Space Force recruitment poster.
It could be. That's
right
where
here.
I was going with this.
Yeah.
This is the Space Force.
Oh, these are all the people that were left in the Space Force MEPS.
Oh, nice. What do we do with this bunch of clods?
I'm asking myself, how did I get stuck with this crew? You know what I'm saying?
Oh, yeah.
What did I do? I must be a pretty shitty captain.
So we got to talk about the commander of the ship. Right. What did he do?
Yeah.
I think what he did is he got the accountant's wife pregnant.
He banged. That's it.
She drug all this
crap with her.
And then the accountant started doing the drugs because of that, knowing that he lost his wife to the captain.
He was the accountant for the homosexual male pro athlete,
right?
Because he was having to spend all his money. He was spending the pro athlete's money to cover up the fact.
Dude, this is like a soap opera.
It is.
It really is.
This stuff writes itself.
As the planet turns. I mean, it's just nuts.
So do you think the accountant was buying the drugs from the African-American medical student so he could put himself through school? The guy's got to be able to put himself through school, and that's how he was doing it.
I think it's the Asian orphan 12-year-old boy. He's got the connection.
Nobody suspects him.
Nobody suspects him.
No, it's like Men in Black. Remember Men in Black, where he shoots the little girl with the physics book?
Yeah,
that's the motherfucker that stands out.
He's muling heroin for Grandpa.
That's what it is.
The Asian 12-year-old is a mule.
Yes, no, he's the boss's client. That's the grandson of the crime lord,
right?
Who's soon to inherit all of this. He owns the football team that the guy plays for.
Right.
He owns the clinic that the medical student works for.
Well, they called the Asian cop in on this thing or not the Asian cop, the racist cop, because they know he was going to pistol whip that little boy.
That's what it was. He was there to off him,
right?
So the rest of these people could be free,
right? So what ended up happening is the militant African American student watched this cop wailing on his kid.
That's what it is.
Okay, so that's what happened. This all got started over that kid muling drugs for Grandpa. I'm telling you, you can take this and write some pretty damn interesting TV with it.
It would be a great book. I think I could write a pretty good short story that could go on Amazon and sell for $9.99.
That's too funny. You guys got any final thoughts on this thing?
It's funny that whoever wrote this was obviously not. I didn't think they were a tactical thinker, obviously, because this is what they put out there. This is the group. This is what you came up with. If you really want to make the decisions difficult, see, to me, these decisions are not difficult. From a person that thinks like I do, what would be difficult for me is we have an electrician that's worked on ships before, and has some sort of disability, like he's missing his right eye. Okay, so you've got
like
that.
he got shocked, he hit the wrong damn wire.
Right. But he's got 25 years experience, and then you have a new electrician that's just starting out, but they were the head of their class.
Right.
If you want to make the decisions difficult, that's how you make the decisions difficult. These people can go just.
Well, I think it's interesting because I look at I'm remembering the premise of recalling the premise of who wrote this and who they gave it to.
Yeah.
So they gave it to a bunch of students in a classroom.
Right.
Okay, and they did it as an individual project. Then they want you to come together as a team and come up with a final list.
Right.
And so to me, they're using that to expose your bias and your prejudice.
Right.
So they can beat you up with it and make you feel bad about it.
It is. I think it's so they can sit you down. It
Sure.
is. It's a training tool to train you to think politically correct. That's really the end game.
Exactly
for this.
what it is. Because honestly, I don't have a problem with any of those people as long as they're not on my rocket.
It's sort of a Clockwork Orange project.
It definitely is exactly what it is. And it's a no-win because there's assumptions in there.
There are.
So when you make an assumption, they're automatically going to rank you into a group. And then what you're going to do is you're going to break the group into A, B, and C type personalities.
Yeah.
And then you're going to say, okay, your personality is this, and you're pigeonholed now, but we're going to fix you.
Right.
These things drive me nuts. The whole psychology side of this bullshit is one of the things that just... why are teachers wasting their time in school with us?
I have no... It's I don't see what it relates to. I really don't. Other than, I guess it's supposed to be problem-solving skills, so I guess you could put it in...
Now, I'd have been in detention. If I was in school, I'd have been in detention with this list.
Yeah, I would have been having to see a counselor.
If you're going to come up with some bullshit like this, you at least need to have some sort of explanation underneath it.
Oh, yeah, no doubt.
Stating why this is a valuable exercise.
Sure.
Yeah.
So I can either at least I can sort of understand your train of thought or arrive at the decision that you're retarded.
Yeah.
Or whatever the favorable word is.
Yeah, because there's a no-win.
I can tell you none of our asses would make the rocket ship if the teacher was running it.
Well, I wouldn't want to be on that.
No, that's what I'm saying.
I'll
just stick it out on Earth.
Yeah,
I'll roll the dice and stay on Earth.
Start killing aliens.
How I look at it is, if someone was to get pissed off with the words that I use, until I draw a picture that reflects the word that I'm using that you have a problem with, don't label me until you see my picture.
There you go. That's fair.